Alrighty, traders, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the Forex battleground here on this beautiful Monday. It is a really tough time in the market right now. I'm really being serious about this because the markets are already trending nicely, but the question here is how do traders get in? How do traders take advantage of these opportunities? And so that becomes a problem because a lot of traders don't understand where to get in. They don't understand where to place their stop loss. They don't even understand where the best place is to enter the market. And sometimes you need to be a little bit of you need to have a little bit of patience in order to be able to get into these opportunities and not risk a lot. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. We're going to talk about cryptos, how this is going to affect your trading, and what you need to look out for in order to be able to take the best opportunity this week. So we're going to cover a lot of that stuff today. We're also going to talk, like I said, about cryptos and talk about the details about trading opportunities that are coming up on some of the altcoins. So with that being said, I'll see you back in a few minutes. Alrighty, traders. Well, there's a lot to chat about. There's a lot to discuss as we dig into the details. We know that there's some great opportunities out there that we can go ahead and trade, but we've got to go ahead and figure out exactly what it is that we need to go ahead and pay attention to when we're looking at trade opportunities. Because I want to just go ahead and give you this sort of example, right? The market's in this big, strong trend, but when the market is in a correction move, how far can the correction move go to? And do traders trade the correction move? Is the correction move too short to trade? And should we really be patient and sitting on the sideline and waiting for the opportunity to go ahead and continue to trade in the trend? Those are the questions that a lot of traders have when they're looking at trade opportunities. So as we go into this week, we're going to go into the details and take a look and see what we need to look at, what type of trade opportunities are coming up, of course, and what the news is. What news does affect the market setups as well. And so with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Now you can see I've had my hair cut. I'm very, very shortly cut right now. I feel like I've got a load off my shoulders, so to speak. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on in this market this morning as we dig into the details. So let's jump in. All right. So I've got the Euro US dollar opening here. Before we jump into actually some chart, let's go ahead and take a look at the news coming out this week and what is it that we need to go ahead and pay attention to. So as I open up the calendar, take a look over here. This is what the calendar looks like at the moment right now. We have, let's go take a look here. Okay, so we have, let me pull up my little writing tool here. We have, as you go look over here, we have the CPI coming out for the Aussies. That's going to be on Tuesday. So that's going to be important. It's quarterly data. Quarterly data is always important to me, quarterly and yearly data, not so much monthly, but quarterly data is very important. So Aussie quarterly data, we definitely need to pay attention to what's going on with the Aussie crosses. So that's something we're going to go ahead and take a look at. Then we also have some data coming out here for the Canadians. This is going to be a rate decision. As you can see right here, they're looking to keep the rates unchanged for the Canadians. So that's definitely something we need to pay attention to because, as you've seen in the past, every time we've seen some data come out for any, or not data, but rate decision come out for any central bank, most of the cases when they keep the rates unchanged, we tend to see a bullish move in the market. Now, as we continue to monitor these type of things, a lot of bullish movement is with the anticipation that there's going to be a rate hike. If there's no intention of a possible rate hike in the future, then we may see a choppy day. So this is going to be real interesting to see how this plays out, because it's not just the rate decision that is going to move the market, but it's really going to come down to the press conference and what is reported in the press conference. So we'll definitely see the details in the verbiage. Now, that is not all that we have. We've got some rate decision coming out for the Eurozone as well. They plan to keep the rates unchanged as well. Again, what comes out in the verbiage in the press conference. And then as we go to the Friday, things start quieting down a little bit. We do have some data coming out on Friday, but as I said, just some quiet data coming out on Friday. So very much Tuesday and Wednesday and a bit of Thursday seems like the midweek crisis that we might be finding in the market, or at least some good volatility in the market. So let's jump into, and because we've got the rate decision coming out for the Eurozone, let's go to the Euro US dollar right here and take a look and see what's going on here. So if I look at the Euro US dollar, I do notice that we do have a few of the, let's see here. We have a big bearish move that took place, and again, this is the 4-hour time frame. I can move it down to the 1 hour to see exactly the time that we started breaking out. And it looks like it started breaking out at 5 o'clock this morning. So around about 5 o'clock this morning, and we didn't have any data that came out at 5 o'clock this morning. No data this morning at 5. So this was really, let's see here if there's any news that broke out this morning. No big serious news report that came out either. And so this just looks like possibly just a natural move in the market, and wasn't stimulated by any sort of, shock news. I'm also going to go into the dollar index as well. Let's see if we got any movement out of the dollar index over that hour. No, look at that. Dollar index is still range bound. Not a lot of action out of the dollar index either. So it is coming down to a situation where is this just a technical move right here? And is the market now setting up for another rally to the upside? Well, let's take a look as we dig deeper into this. Okay, so remember, traders, that we did have these wave structures. If you watch the previous videos, we had these wave structures going down right here. Into the fourth wave was right up here at the top here. Here's our fourth wave. Wave right here. And so we said that price could go ahead and chase our fourth wave high, which it did. And now that we've gone ahead and tested that, price turnaround. Remember, we were always chasing after that 1640 level, 1.1640. We spoke about it in our previous session. We said Euro US dollar is going to go into Euro US dollar is going to go ahead and chase after that 1.1640 level, and we did, and we hit it, which was our fourth wave, which was expected. Now it also came back to retest that breakout. Remember that big channel that we broke out of? Well, let's go back to a daily time frame, maybe even a 4-hour. You'll be able to pick it up here on a 4-hour. There it is. So you can see that's the channel that we broke out right here. There were significant lows that the market broke out of, and we said that there's a possibility that maybe price can move back into this channel. And if it does, it's going to be a no-brainer to be able to trade the Euro US dollar, because the Euro US dollar is going to end up going all the way back up to around about 2.3, 2.4, even maybe even higher than that. So it's going to be easy to trade that. But while it's trading below, this is where traders are going to struggle the most, okay, specifically with the Euro US dollar. And yes, it's okay to look at this pair and say, well, you know what, if it's going to be this difficult to trade, then maybe it's best to just go ahead and stand aside and not trade at all and wait for it to go ahead and give us something a little bit better to trade. Now, that could also be an alternative, and a good alternative as well, all right? So you can definitely go ahead and do that, but you have to go ahead and wait for the best opportunity. So make sure that if you're monitoring these setups, okay, that you're also monitoring that there could be some intraday trade opportunities, but overall the market's still telling us something, right? And so right now on the Euro US dollar, it's telling us that we are definitely bearish below the channel, but there's this possibility of getting back into the channel and then looking for a much higher upside move. So that's great. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here as I break this down on this chart. So I'm looking at this setup. This is the fourth wave. Okay, I get it. The fourth wave is done, but let's take a look at the internal wave. Let's see if this does tell us something. So here we have an internal wave on the Euro US dollar right here that says rally, wave 1. Then we had pullback, wave 2, correction move. Then the 1.618 is still up here. Now we did come back below, and we did see this internal structure right here, perhaps break structure. So could this be a false breakout? Could this be a bear trap right here? And price is going to get back above this level, and we're going to start heading north. Well, this is the deal. I want you to pay attention to the Euro US dollar. And if we do get back above this previous high right here, I'm going to go ahead and clean up some charts right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this level right here and say if we do trade back above, let me call that number out, 1.1624. Write it down. 1.1624. If we trade back above that level, then we have a good chance of getting up to this level, which is at 116.87. So that gives us maybe about a 60 pip rally. But the good thing right here is, traders, if we can get above here and take out this high right here at 1752, right? If we take out 1752, we're going to head a lot further back, a lot further north. So that's going to be our critical level there, 1752. Now, if you're asking me, FxBigDog, is it possible to make a lot of money trading one currency pair or two currency pairs? Absolutely. For the big part of my trading back in 2000, early 2000, I only paid attention to one currency pair. In fact, it was the Euro US dollar I traded for a long time. Before that was the pound US dollar, and I made some good money out of the pound US dollar until I really got into a bad trade, and that was just because I've got bad equity management. But when I got out of that trade and when I got into trading at the early parts of 2000, and I wanted to focus in on one currency pair, it was the euro for a long period of time, and we made some good returns, very good returns, trading one currency pair. So you don't have to be a master of all these different pairs. You can be a master of one, okay? All right? And you know how the saying goes, right? A jack of all trades, a jack of all currencies, but a master of one. It certainly could be a factor as well. So, all right, so let's take a look over here. So I'm excited about the Euro US dollar because if it does get back inside this channel, there's so much upside potential that we can make on the Euro US dollar. So I'm excited about it, but I have to be a little bit more patient on this, right? Now might not be the time to get in because this could be heading further south. If it stays below this 116.82 level, or hang on, 116.52 level, right? Is that the number we're looking at here? Oh, my bad. Actually, it's 116.26. That's what it is. Okay. So if we do stay below that, then yeah, we could be heading back down south, and we could be heading, further down south. In fact, if I look over here, we could even be chasing after 1400. All right. So this is important, all right, and it's important to monitor this. And I'm going to definitely keep an eye on this. So if you want to go ahead and check out the description below, you'll find a Telegram link, all right, and it's the FxBigDog Trading Channel. It's free. Get access to it, and I'll update you as we go along the week. If I see something interesting on these particular setup, I will go ahead and talk about it and go ahead and post something inside the Telegram account. So go ahead and check it out. It is down in the description, so check it out, and as soon as we get something updated, we'll update you. So, interesting, Euro US dollar. Now, what's also been interesting over the last couple of weeks is that we've seen a lot of weakness out in Swiss franc, a lot of weakness out in JPY, and so when we saw these weaknesses, we noticed that the market has been very strong, had strong rallies. Like if you traded the pound JPY, or if you traded the Swiss against maybe the Canadian, so Canadian Swiss, you saw this big strong rally. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at Canadian Swiss. All right, let's go take a look at the setup right here. So here in the Canadian Swiss, we did have this strong rally to the upside, and this was due to weaker Swiss franc, not necessarily strong Canadian. And the reason why I'm saying that it's not strong Canadian is because we didn't really have a look. Okay, I have to say we did have some rally in US oil, but it did stall at a certain level, and so US oil definitely was a factor. I'm not going to rule that out. Definitely was a factor. But what definitely helped us move faster was the fact that we had a weaker Swiss franc. Now, the question here is that traders are asking is, do we see an opportunity to buy along? Now, take a look here. Here we have rally, dip, rally, dip. Here's a fourth wave. Now, the question here is this an extended wave 3? All right, do I see that this may be an extended wave 3? And actually, if I look over here, this see wave 1, 2, this could be 3 internal, this could be 4 internal, and so this could be our fifth wave right here. So if that's the case, then I don't have my swings correct right here, and that this is actually an adjusted wave 3 right here. Let me go ahead and double check this. Look at this is wave 1 right up here. Then we had market going all the way up here. Yeah, look at that. So this is actually internal right here. See the internal string? Look at the 1.618. Look where the 1.618 is. The 1.618, sorry, the 1.27. The 1.27 is right there where I'm now marked off as the third wave. And so this tells me that, yeah, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I missed this internal structure. And so this is the third wave right here. All right, so that's the third wave there. So good, we've got that written up. Now, the next thing here is, if this is the third wave, then did price come back to test the previous 1.618? Because that's important. Because that's going to be a key level of support. But take a look over here. See, this is the wave 1 right here. Can you see the 1.618 right there? Can you see how price came back over here and retested that level? So which means, traders, that the Canadian Swiss just may be on its way going up. Now, could this mean stronger US oil? Could this mean weaker Swiss franc? Well, what I'm seeing right now shows that we could see, there's a good possibility we could see the Canadian Swiss rally, right? But let's go into more details right here. I want to go into details, and you have to break down the chart. You have to be real confident about it. So I'm going to go to the daily time frame. I'm going to take a look at the overall trend. Okay, so I see a bit of range trading right here. I see a resistance at the top. I also see a trend line going up over here, which is indicating, obviously, the trend that we're in now. But then I'm also noticing right here, I got quite a bit of resistance at the top here. Look over here on the daily. So we got quite a bit of resistance over here. The price went ahead and was rejected, right? We had price rejection right here. Now, the question here is the 1.618 of the previous swing strong enough to hold that market as support? Or could we see a price going down a little further down south, maybe dropping a little further down south, and then come back up, maybe a bear trap right here, and then going back up north? Well, both possibilities are true, all right? Price could bounce off this level and we can go north, but price could also go below this level and sell further down south. So how do we trade this? Well, if I was going to trade the CAD Swiss right here, and I was following, and I was a swing trader, and I was going to follow the trends, the trend is at the moment right now, even though it might be midterm or short term, call it what you want, the trend is bullish. But we have to be careful that if the market breaks below this level, how far can it go back down south? So this is how I would trade it. Number one, I would use what we call a cost averaging approach. Start putting in very low to very small entries at the moment right now. Start cost averaging around this area. And if the market breaks through this level, stand aside, stay in your positions on the cost average, but stand aside because now you have to look for the next level of support. And if we look over here, here is going to be our next level right here. This is going to be the next buy zone right here. And so if this is the next buy zone, then what we have to do is we have to start thinking about buying in back here. Now, the reason why we're going to be buying back here, okay, is because what we're going to do is we're going to take this swing from the top to the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and look for the 1.618. Because traders, we know that the market moves in these waves. And if it does, that means that price is going to probably go ahead and bounce back up. So if you are in here long and we're wrong and price moves down, here would be the next buy zone to cost average out and or at least bring our break even to about here. Now, when it gets to this point, if price continues to rally, then we've got a much better price that we've entered in. But if price goes back up here to this resistance and it holds at that resistance, we have an opportunity to get the heck out of Dodge, make some money, but get out of this trade and then wait for better opportunities. In fact, we could probably get out of the trade right here, and if it breaks above and then comes back to retest, we could re-enter again and start trading it once again in that direction. So we've got a lot of options. You see, without taking losses. We've got a lot of options without taking options. So this is what you call babying your trade, right? It's using a cost averaging approach, but we've been smart about what we're doing, right? And what we're doing is we are making sure that we are buying at support and we are selling at resistance. And really, it doesn't matter whether you're following a trend or not following a trend. You still have to apply the same concept. Buy at support, sell at resistance. All right, you have to make sure you do apply those rules. And if you do apply those rules, then you would always have an opportunity to get out of the trade in profit, or go ahead and continue with a trend that's starting to move in your favor. All right. Now, obviously, if you I said it doesn't matter if you're trading a trend or you're trading against the trend. Obviously, if you're in the trend, you're more likely to want to hold on to your trade a little bit longer if it looks good. But if you're trading against the trend, you definitely want to look for a place to get out of the trade so you can go ahead and reverse it and trade it in the direction of the trend. So you definitely want to take a look at that. So Canadian Swiss right now does look like a great opportunity for traders to start getting in. Now, I'm not going to be going into the details about what strategy you're going to use, because I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what the overall directional buy is going to be. Now, I'm going to say this, though, all right, that if the market does go back down deeper, you've got to have enough buying power to get back in again and start buying long. So that's why it's always good to start off with a very small amount of equity, all right? Trade with a very small amount of equity and over leverage yourself in the beginning stages, right? And this is a way of just getting yourself in the action, right? Everyone says, man, I just want to be part of the action. Well, this is a way of becoming part of the action, but not necessarily committing yourself all in on this particular trade right here, all right? Okay, let's go take a look and see what else we've got going here. So this is on Canadian Swiss. Now let's take a look at US oil, because I think it's important as we head into the week, we understand what's going on with US oil, what's going on with dollar index. So let's start with the US oil right here. Okay, so US oil, and this is something that some traders may want to consider, but if you look at US oil right here, we are absolutely looking for US oil to sell off. It's at a critical level right here that we're expecting, without a shadow of doubt, a correction move in US oil. It's traded all the way up here at about $85 a barrel, and we're expecting it to go back down a lot further down. In fact, we're looking for US oil to correct itself down to about $75 a barrel. All right, so $75 a barrel is what we're looking at right here. So we're absolutely looking for it. So now that's going to mean this. We just looked at CAD Swiss franc, and we just said that the CAD Swiss may go long. That means Canadian strength, right? But if US oil is going to sell off, wouldn't that mean that Canadian is going to drop? Okay, it would. It would mean that. Now we do know that that US oil dip right here is just going to be temporary, right? As we continue to see US oil rally. So this is just a short-term or a mid-term correction on US oil. But now let's get back to Canadian Swiss. If US oil is weakening, that means the Canadian should be weakening too. So why would we be buying US dollar, or at least CAD Swiss franc? Well, that's because we're trading against two currencies, Canadian and Swiss franc. So this could mean that we may have two weak currencies, Canadian as well as Swiss franc. And if we're going to have two weak currency pairs, then it may come down to which one's going to be weaker. And if the Swiss franc is weaker, even though the CAD's weak as well, but if the Swiss franc is weaker and a lot weaker than the Canadian dollar, then this would mean that the Canadian Swiss would continue its rally. So that's always a possibility right there, okay? Again, this is the reason why we do cost averaging, because if we're wrong and US oil does push the Canadian bearish, we'll look to get back in again on the lower levels and trade that back again and make then decision whether we cash out with a bit of profit or we hold on to the trade for long-term trade. That's going to be a decision we're going to make. But at least we're getting in on part of the action. All right. So US oil is expected to dip. Let's go to dollar index. Dollar index, well, we're expecting the same thing. We're expecting dollar index to dip as well. So we are looking for dollar index to weaken. So dollar index is expected to weaken. So weaker US dollar, weaker oil. That's probably the sentiment of the week right there. Both dollar weakness and the US oil weakness. Now we can see that we're in a bit of consolidation right here. Right, a bit of consolidation right here on the dollar. Could we see a correction? Well, if we do see a big bullish move, it might be just about here, but then we should see it continue to move back down south. So we're definitely looking for US oil and for the dollar index to start moving into a bearish setup. Look over here on the trend. Look at this channel that we've got right here. We've got this nice little channel right here. So we definitely have seen price test the top right here. And now we're looking for price to come back to retest the bottom of the channel right here. And maybe even further weakness in the dollar. But right now, let's just look for the short-term dip right here. And then we'll make a decision how the market deals with that trend line. Whether it's going to continue in this trend, or are we going to follow the overall trend on this, which seems to be, if I look at this fib right here, yep, it looks like we overall bearish on the dollar as well. So now it's just a matter of, hey, let's get down to this trend line and we'll figure out what's going to go down there. Now, if dollar's going to weaken, then I guess looking at some dollar crosses this week might not be a bad idea. You know, let's look at US dollar CAD. Maybe you want to stay away from the CAD, but let's take a look right here because we might have two weak pairs. Dollar weakness, CAD weakness, which might be a little choppy for us this week on US dollar CAD. So let's take a look right here. Yeah, US dollar CAD. If the US dollar CAD moves south, then that means that the dollar is just a lot weaker than the Canadian dollar. Again, if we look at the two, and we have two weak currency pairs, the one that's going to dominate is going to move the pair in that direction. So if we get strong dollar weakness, but weak Canadian, then we should end up seeing the US dollar CAD heading back down south. All right, so maybe stay away from this because we've got two of the pairs that are weak, and we may want to trade something that's just one-sided. So let's go into, let's go take a look right here. I'm going to jump into this right here. Let's go to our currency strength right here and take a look at the currency strength. And I'm going to look at the weekly currency strength. And I'm not looking at real time. I'm looking at the closes, right? So here's the currency strength of the week. So again, if we're going to look for a very weak currency pair and a very strong, and trade that rather than looking for one that's both weak or both strong, then the big look this week is New Zealand Cad. New Zealand Cad right now is showing us strong New Zealand and weak Canadian. Now remember, this is the weekly close, right? We close this for the week. So that doesn't necessarily mean that because we've got New Zealand strong, CAD weak, that we are going to see New Zealand CAD take off right from the beginning of the week, because the market could do something like this, where it's gone ahead and rallied up and we're in strong rallies, but now, even though it's still in a good, solid weekly trend, there might be a little correction due before the rally takes place. So New Zealand CAD should still be bullish overall, but we may end up seeing a short-term correction before we start seeing the rally. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. New Zealand CAD seems like a good hot pair for this week to go ahead and trade. But again, timing is important. Now, let me go to the daily. Break down the daily right here. All right, so the first thing you have to take from the daily right here is, hey, New Zealand CAD is chasing after the top right here. So we want to see New Zealand CAD overall head all the way back up to around about 9,700 right about here, maybe just slightly shy of that. All right. So we're looking for price to rally all the way up here. And if we look at this setup right here, from where price is trading at the moment right now, we're looking at about almost a 10% return going long, 9.2% return. That's 800 pips. So look at about an 815 pip opportunity as we look for price to go all the way to the top right here. Now, I'm going to go into a little more details right here. And, okay, so we see that there's this head and shoulder pattern right here with a neckline. And I'm going to say this. I don't like head and shoulder patterns as reversal patterns. Most of the time, more often than not, I've seen head and shoulder patterns fail on us. All right, I've seen head and patterns fail on us. Now, I'm also going to say this though: head and shoulder patterns are good to find when we are confirming that with our trends based on wave structure. So if you've got a good wave structure and the market's completed a certain level, and you get this pattern, then it makes sense to go ahead and pay attention to that reversal pattern. But if I don't see the reversal pattern with a wave pattern, then I'm pretty much not going to go ahead and want to trade that. Now, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. So take a look right here. So here we have the market moving up, then pull back down, and then it rallied up. So as we trade back below this level right here, we are expecting the market to go ahead and take out that low. So if we get up here and we don't break above that high there, then I would expect price to come down to this level, but not enough to fulfill this head and shoulder pattern. So if you take this AB swing right here, look for the extension, you're probably going to look for the price to move back down here. I don't believe we're going to get that far down, okay? But I'm going to keep the head and shoulders pattern there until the market either breaks above here or we take out that low right here. So I'll keep that in, but I don't expect price to move down this far down south. So we'll definitely take a look at that as we move along the way. Now I'm going to go deeper into the charts right here. Okay. So there's anything I could use from this that could make me feel like price is going to move back up north again? Well, I did notice that we did have this trend line right here that we're now trading above. And in fact, let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to move this down to a 4-hour. Okay. So there we have this trend line right here, and prices moved back up. Notice how prices actually use this trend line now as a support level. And we did speak about this being the buy zone right down here. Okay. We said buy zone right here. And so if we go deeper in here, I'm looking at everything that's pointing north so far. So far, everything I've looked at right now is pointing north. And so if I go down to the lower time frame, or just zoom in on this time frame, I do notice that we do have some swings. Here we have wave 1, wave 2. It looks like I tried to get an internal wave structure right here, but it didn't work out so great. But what I do see here is, even though we have this little smaller retracement right here, here's the deepest retracement so far since we started rallying. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify things here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pay attention to the larger swing. And so that large swing is from down here to the highest point here. And so now this becomes a factor for me. All right. So price is chasing after this target up here at the 1.27. So now I'm going to be looking for price to continue its rally to here. So I definitely want to be a buyer in New Zealand CAD. The question here is, do I just get in right now where it's trading right now? Or do I have to be more patient on this? The only way we can trade this is work it down on a lower time frame. So let's go down to the lower time frame right here to the hourly. And so as I go to the hourly right here, these are, okay, so we know we're in a fourth wave, right? We know that this is a fourth wave based on a 4-hour time frame. And we can go ahead and label that as well. This is wave 1. Oh, hang on. So this is going to be wave 1 right here. This is wave 2. That's wave 3 there, and this is wave 4. All right, so now we're looking for price to move to our fifth wave, which is going to be all the way up here at the 127. All right, now as we go into the chart, we have to go ahead and say, what is the thing that we always have to do? Doesn't matter what type of strategy you trade in. We always got to look for buy signals at support, and we always got to look for sell signals at resistance, right? So in this case now, because we're buying, we have to look for support. We have to look to buy at support. Are we at support right now? That's the question you have to ask. And the answer is no. Here was the buy support. Here was the support right here. This is the support that we were at right here. That's the buy support there. This may be been just a pullback right here, so that could have been seen as also a support level on maybe a fib level. But right now, we're not there. Okay? We're not there. And so because we're not there now, doesn't make sense to want to buy in right now. And the answer to that is no, we shouldn't. So as I go ahead and I draw in some trend lines, connect some trend lines right here, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually take a look at this level right here. And I'm going to mark off from the low here to the high. And I'll say, okay, this is where we are right now. We are right now. This is the wave structure right now. Now, what I do see here is that price went and created a wave. Then we had a zigzag correction move. So that's why this would have been an awesome place to go ahead and look to buy in if you wanted to get in on that. But now we had this rally. So which means that price is probably going to come back down to retest this backside of the trend line and then go it. Now, you see how we get another support level right here? And it's going to be on a correction. So New Zealand CAD, although New Zealand CAD may be bullish for the week, we can still look for those correction moves and jump in the correction moves and then go ahead and trade along. So if we go ahead and take a look over here, and I break this down now even to a 15-minute time frame, just so you can see the swings a little bit better. Here's the 15-minute time frame right here. Notice that even the 15-minute time frame is showing us that we had a wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We have a fifth wave up here at the top. So traders, caution when trading, because if you look at the bigger picture, then straight away traders thinking, man, I got to get in on this trade. But if you go down to the lower time frame and you break it down the way we've done, now you can see why this is not a good place. This is not the perfect place to go ahead and buy. So we're gonna have patience, and we're gonna wait for the New Zealand CAD to drop back down south, maybe retest the trend line, take out that fourth wave low right here, and this is going to be your buying option right about here. And I can give you a price level, and that's around about 88.50, give or take a few. So 88.50 would be where we'd look to buy. Stop losses, safe stop losses would be below here at around about below 88.15, and then look to rally towards the next target. Okay, and the upside target, you could look at 89.09 right here as the upside target. So for the short term, again, keep in mind that this is just a 15-minute time frame. So the entries are going to be tight, or at least the stops are going to be tight. The targets are going to be within your risk-reward ratio. So if we look over here, we're looking at if price moves back down here, then we're looking at probably around about a 62 pip rally to the upside with stop losses down below here at about 20, let's say 30 pips. So 30 pip stop, 62 pip, so 1 to 2 risk reward ratio on this particular trade. Now that doesn't mean that you don't it doesn't mean that you cannot add in multiple entries over here, so you build up your position so you can take more profit to the upside. But again, be a little patient on this. As we go back on a correction move, that's the opportunity going long. Okay, now let's take a look at some cryptos. Let's take a look at cryptos this as Bitcoin continues its upside move right here. Let's go to our 4 hour. Take a look at the 4 hour. Is it time to cash out on Bitcoin? No. All right, not time to cash out on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking for this next fifth wave rally to around about 74 and change. All right, 74 and change. That's 74,000 and change. All right, so we're looking for Bitcoin to get to that next rally. We're just in that correction. This is just a correction. I said that Bitcoin should hold above 62. We had a little peak below that, but we should see Bitcoin continue its rally to the upside. What does that mean? Traders, that means that we could be in the next move to the upside to 74,000 on Bitcoin. So now we need to go to the altcoins and take a look at the altcoin movement. And so here's the altcoins right here. All right. And we got to take a look and see, all right, if altcoins are going to move in the same direction as Bitcoin, let's take a look and see where the opportunity is. Now I'm going to look at the last 24 hours. Which of the altcoins are has lost value that we can go ahead and look to trade? So if we look at the last 24 hours right here, the only thing I see right now is Shiba. And it's lost 8% over the last 24 hours. But look at this. Over the last 7 days, and I am a buyer of Shiba Inu, and I am up 41% on the week. In fact, since I got in, I'm over 100% profit already on Shiba. All right, so this is dropped 8%. Let's dig into Shiba right here, and let's take a look and see if this is actually a big coin. That's the only coin that's in the red over the last 24 hours. Look at that. All the altcoins are currently right now up. All right, at least in the last 24 hours. Now, we do have some coins that are still down in the last, like flows down 12% in the last 7 days. So there may be opportunity some of the altcoins that are down on the week that you can go ahead and possibly get in on. But most of it you're seeing green numbers right now, all right? Except for Shiba, that's down 8% over the last 24 hours. Now, let's take a look and see if we go into Shiba right here. Shiba. Let's go. I've got that actually listed here. There it is. This is one of my favorite currency cryptos right now because it's giving me some massive returns right now. All right, so here we go. Here's Shiba 4 hour time frame. Now, if I look at Shiba right here, I drew in a swing from there, swing low, swing high. We had a 382 pullback. Price is broken above that high. Okay, and as long as we traded above this high right here, as long as we traded above this level right here, guess what? We're chasing after the 1.618. So we still have some upside potential on this to go another 40% higher on Shiba. Another 40% higher right here. All right, there we go. Mason says, I'm loving Shiba too. Fantastic. Well, it's doing pretty good. And we've got another 40% to the upside. And so if you're a trader that has not got into any cryptos and looking for a quick move, a quick opportunity, with Bitcoin on its move, we should see another upside move to at least to this level right here, which is around about 5,400. So again, another 40% gain on what we currently have right here on Shiba. So do we take our profits at this point? Well, I did say to my son Cameron just this weekend, he was like, "Pops, do we start cashing out? When we take profit on those?" And I said to him, I said, "Listen, man, there's some cryptos I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just putting money in there. I took some money out of some cryptos, some profit that I made on other cryptos, and I put that profit into this, and now I've made 100% on that profit. So I've made profit onto profit onto profit. And I'm like, at this point, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to let this one ride. Maybe I'm going to take, if I'm going to be up 150 to 200% on my money, maybe I'll take my profits off the table and just leave my initial investment and just let that ride, because I've made more than what I've put in. So maybe I'll just take that off, put that back into my huddle portfolio, which is going to be on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polkadot, Cardano, and even Solana. That is your huddle portfolio. Those is where you just don't want to cash on that. You just want to build up that portfolio and make this type of return that we are on these type of altcoins, and just keep profiting and moving profit back into those other coins. So this might be something that we may consider. All right, I may consider, but I'm definitely looking for another 40% upside move on this. So this is pretty exciting. So some great opportunities this week. Liking the way Bitcoin is set up right now. I do like the way Bitcoin is set up right now, and I will continue to be bullish on Bitcoin as I'm bullish on Ethereum and bullish on the altcoins as well. Because if I go to the total cap, excluding Bitcoin, you can see right here that we are still seeing a rally here on total cap. So total cap excluding Bitcoin, we do see rally right here. Hang on, this is the total cap excluding Bitcoin right here. Sorry, my bad, wrong chart. Ooh, all right, resistance within the internal swing right here. So I'm noticing right here, internal swing right here. So this tells me that if we're going to continue this rally, man, this is going to be right here. If price goes up to the 1.618 right here, that's going to be huge. That means the altcoins, it's alt season, baby. All right. If we're going to see a big, strong move right here, that means we're going to really see some strong moves in the altcoins. And that, once again, makes me feel like I want to go ahead and hold on to those altcoins. Because if I expect a correction after we hit this area right here. And so price is starting to continue its rally. We're not even breaking past this trend line right here. And so that means we could be also on our way towards this 1.618. And if that's the case, then that means we have an internal, all right, an internal structure right here, from here to here. And that means that this is going to be wave 1, 2, that's 3. And so we're going to continue this big, strong rally in the altcoins. So I'm going to keep my eye open for that 1.5 right here mark. If we can get to the 1.5 trillion move right here, then we can absolutely see the altcoins continue to rally. All right, traders. Hey, listen, if you can do me a favor, go ahead and smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we're going to continue to post these videos throughout the week. So this is our weekly video, but then we do have some daily videos that we do post during the week as well. And I'm going to get some other additional content as well pushed out as well. So if you want to get that content, if you like the channel, you like to see us, you like getting involved in what we're doing here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but also smash the like button. That's the way we get this video out to as many traders as possible. So if you can be so kind to support the channel by doing that, much appreciated. Everyone have a blessed trading week as we continue with the opportunities this week. But I'll see everyone in the next video. Thank you for joining.